Stephen, whom Paul perceived as a heretic of the one true faith. On the road to Damascus, Paul repented of his narrow-minded self-righteousness. In a flash of light, Paul's vision of faith expanded. As Paul's faith flourished, he founded, encouraged, sustained, and shepherded new Christian communities. He was able to seek and serve Christ in all persons. The young Christian communities expanded. Scripture suggests that Paul was the man, the numero uno in his tireless efforts for the Christian faith. By the time he writes to Timothy, though, he sounds weary. He says he feels empty, poured out. He has fought the good fight, but is ready to cross the finish line. His energy is ebbing. Tough guy Paul also sounds a little sad. He tells Tim that when he needed supporters, no one came. He felt alone, deserted. Where was the Christian community which he so faithfully nurtured when he was in the pit? The in-reach of faith happens in two dimensions. First, each of us needs to continually work on and strengthen our own faith through prayer, worship, the sacraments. Our reaching out to those in need comes as an extension of Jesus' heart and hands, not our own egos. We give because we have been given so much. From a core of unconditional love, we extend ourselves. Good works without Jesus' love are hollow and degrading. Second, I am sure that Timothy's community had a hard time grasping that Paul the perfect, Paul the Iron Man, needed anything. Paul says he understands that and he gets his strength from Jesus. But how much better if the community collectively and individually had offered a hand? Doubt they had missing hours in the Roman prison, but it's clear from the fact that this is an epistle that letters could go in and out. Perhaps someone could have sent a note of encouragement or even a reminder as Paul was being held in prayer. Even the most private introvert weathers the storm better when he or she knows there is support from others. We reach inward to our core of faith so that we may accompany, support, sustain those for whom life's path has become rocky. As a community of faith, we extend individual and collective care. In his name, we practice caring, compassion, reconciliation, redemption. Reaching in, reaching out. Last week, Pat and I spoke of St. Mark's reaching out. Today, Pat Barton will address reaching in as a practice of faith which flourishes. Pat?
St. Mark's has two ministries which focus on supporting members of our congregation. The lay Eucharistic ministers are trained to provide the Eucharist for those of us who, perhaps due to a temporary illness, are not able to come to church, or for a more permanent condition that prevents us from being here. They also assist Paul or Joan in providing a monthly Eucharistic service at both Friendship Village and First Community. The ministry with which I am most familiar is the Stephen ministry. It was begun in 1975 by Dr. Kenneth Houck, who is a pastor and a clinical psychologist. He saw needs in his congregation that he alone was just not able to provide. There are now more than 11,000 congregations representing more than 160 Christian denominations in all 50 United States, 10 Canadian provinces, and 24 other countries. Paul was very familiar with Stephen Ministry because he had that program in his Dayton parish. So when he arrived here to be with us, he felt that would be a good program to establish here. In August of 2009, Joan Maynard and I went off to Pittsburgh to spend a week being trained as Stephen Ministry leaders. After our return, we recruited our first group of Stephen ministers who spent approximately 9 months, 2 hours every week, being trained. We currently have 12 Stephen ministers. None of us move through life without experiencing difficult times. It may be a loss of a job. It may be a divorce. It could be a death of a loved one. It could be family problems. The list is endless. The role of the Stephen minister is not that of a therapist. It is not the Stephen minister's job to fix the difficult problem. It is the promise that I will walk with you as we move together through this time. 2 weeks ago, in the foreword day by day, there was a familiar quote from 1 Corinthians. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. The writer for that day said, love is demanding, and the more we live, the more we tend to recognize love in action in the lives of people who touch our lives. I have been a member of St. Mark's since 1972. As a result, I've had the opportunity to know many wonderful people who have touched my life. There is a lot of love in action in this congregation. Our Stephen ministers are a prime example. It has been my privilege to know them